We're talking now about medical mysteries, about a little boy. He's morbidly obese. He's a toddler in Saudi Arabia. He is the youngest ever to have gastric bypass surgery. It was done in 2010. He was 2. He weighed 72 pounds. Apparently, the parents tried to get him to lose weight. They put him on a strict diet, and he gained 17 pounds in 4 months. But they said they were getting desperate. He had sleep apnea, bowing of the legs. 2 months post-surgery, he lost 15% of his body weight. 2 years after, lost 20 pounds, down from 72 to 52. Doctors there say, look, there were no complications. It worked. Some obesity experts are saying it's shocking. It's very unusual. No idea about the effect it could have, right, long-term on the boy's growth. The surgeons say gastric bypass in young patients can be considered if their life is at risk, other weight loss attempts fail. But parents should understand the procedure, of course, is permanent, and the child won't properly understand the consequences of this. I mean, he's 2 years old. Joining me to talk about this is Dr. Stephanie Walsh, Medical Director of Child Wellness at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Good to see you, Doctor.
You too.
We were talking about this during the commercial break, and this is unheard of. You see a young boy, he's 2 years old, he's obese by all accounts, and they get this surgery. Do you think there were other things that the parents could have done? I read about it. The mom said, look, we were desperate. He had sleep apnea. His life was at risk.
Right. And while I don't know the specifics of this case, this is certainly something that shocked those of us at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And I work with families every day that are struggling with weight issues. And in the United States, we would not be performing bariatric surgery on a 2-year-old.
So what do you do? Because it is a common problem, weight issues at a young age. And do genetics play a role in this, or is it what the child is eating at home and at school?
Well, it's a combination of all of those things. So genetic plays a role in everything, right? I mean, you're sort of going to look like your parents. But really, we have so many opportunities to improve our health. So you can work on how well the kids are eating. You can get them to be more active. And really, if a child is struggling with weight to that extent, please go see your pediatrician. And go sooner rather than later so you can talk through some of these issues early on.
And the sleep apnea, his mother was saying, was a direct result of the obesity, of his weight. So what do you do if a mom is desperate? And would surgeons here in the U.S. have performed this on such a young boy?
Surgeons in the U.S. would not have performed this on a child that young. Actually, according to the NIH, we have guidelines for adolescent bariatric surgery, and it requires a BMI greater than 40, but it also requires the kids to be almost fully grown. So they have to reach about 90% of their maturity before they're even eligible for this procedure.
And so much is happening from age even 2 to 3. I have a 3-year-old, so we don't know the long-term ramifications of this physically and also mentally, right?
Exactly, and realize that even though we have these guidelines, the reality is these are kids who are struggling with health issues, things like type 2 diabetes and the sleep apnea, high blood pressure. So the surgery, while we call it weight loss surgery, it's really about health and getting these kids healthier.
Do you think some of the moms and the kids who do have a problem with weight need to see a nutritionist maybe? I mean, it must be difficult for the parents if a child wants something in the home. I know that it's up to the mom and the dad to make sure they're eating healthy, but it's not as simple as that in some households.
Exactly, and I think that the reality is you should use whatever tools you need. At the Health for Life program at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, we use a multidisciplinary team approach. So there's a medical provider, a nutritionist, a psychologist, and an exercise physiologist. So we can get into all aspects of the family and really help parents set those limits and make their homes a healthier place.
And I know there's no simple answer, but exercise is always key and maybe something that your child likes to do.
Exactly, and making exercise fun or keeping it fun, because kids really like to move.
Exactly.
So if you can keep it fun and happy for them, they'll continue to do it throughout their life.
So this isn't something we're going to see here in the U.S. anytime soon?
Absolutely not. And it's really, it's not a necessary procedure.
Good, because there is a slight risk, of course.
Exactly.
No matter how old you are, but 2 years old, wow, we were shocked about this. Dr. Stephanie Walsh, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.